Well, this may surprise you, but did you know there's a brand new violin shop on 1st Street in downtown Sarasota? Who knew? Co-owner Ethan Morency is here to tell us all about it. Welcome, Ethan. So, what made you decide to open a violin shop?
So we have two locations. Our first location's in Tampa, and we had a lot of customers that were driving up to see us in Tampa.
Oh, wow.
And we always just loved how much Sarasota really supports the arts, so we really wanted to be a part of that. So we just opened in downtown.
Like, this is really surprising for me. But what, because you think violin, you don't think a store to get that, you know? I don't know, where do you get violins from? But anyway, tell me, what are some of the things you do at your store?
Yep, so we build violins, we restore them. We also do rentals, so if you're looking to start, we do have rental programs that you can start with. But you know, with building instruments, you know, there's a lot of time that goes into every single one. So
So it is almost catered for that person. So if I come in there and say, hey, I want a violin, you do all the work to measure it so it's just for me?
If you're a student and you're looking to learn, you know, we're going to make sure that we have the right size, that it's the right length, and get you, nice and comfortable so that
well, you brought some examples for us. Talk about the violin that's over there by Jeff. So tell me
it's gorgeous.
It's really pretty.
It is.
Is this one you built?
That is not one that we built, but that is a copy of a Stradivarius, which everyone knows the name Stradivarius.
That's why it's gorgeous.
That's a copy of the Helier Strad. So if you look along the edges of the instrument, you can see some pearl inlay there. So that's kind of a unique instrument. It's absolutely beautiful. It has boxwood fittings, so the pegs, the tailpiece, that's a kind of a different kind of wood, but it's very unique.
I have a question, and I hope this isn't a clueless question, because I'll admit I don't know much about stringed instruments. That looks gorgeous. Is there anything on there look-wise that also affects the sound, maybe the type of wood?
Oh yeah, so the quality of the materials that go into the instrument, you know, the spruce on the top, the maple on the back and sides, all of that has to do with the overall tone of the instrument. And then finally, the varnish is a big factor as well. Really? So we cook our own varnish actually, so we make it ourselves from scratch.
Wow.
That takes about 80 hours to build, to make that. And it takes about a month for it to fully dry, so it's a slow process.
So this isn't a process where you go in there and say, hey, I want a violin today if you really want, okay.
It's about a year.
So tell me about the handle, because I've heard that and the bows, like, because I feel like there's some of the different things that you have on it make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. The scroll of a violin is kind of like the fingerprint of the maker, so you can tell a lot from like the country of origin, you know, where the luthier was trained. And then on the bow,
who was trained?
The luthier.
What's a luthier?
Luthier is a violin maker.
Oh, I did not know that.
New
That's a new word for us.
Could you tell the difference in the sound of your violin and another violin if it was on the other side of the room?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
You can. Every violin has its own voice, so it really makes a big difference, and you can definitely pick it out of a crowd.
Well, in addition to violins, you have a cello, which is over here by Stephanie. Tell me a little about what you guys do with those.
So that cello there is a Polish-made instrument. That's a Callan Wolter. That's a beautiful, beautiful instrument, but it's a good example of European work. Beautiful spruce top there. It has a nice ebony fingerboard, really good strings.
Is the idea behind this just a big version of a violin? Or am I just really simplifying things?
It kind of is. So violins take about 200 hours to build, cellos about 300. So there is more work involved just because it is bigger. But for the most part, they are very, very similar.
Oh, wow.
Talk to the parents out there, because I know a lot of kids, young kids, get into the violin, as well they should. I am sure that you can go online and order a violin. But tell us why you do not recommend people do that.
So the reason why we try to steer people away from buying online is there's a lot of what we call violin-shaped objects. So it's something that looks like a violin. You know, it might be able to tune
Smells
like a
violin,
violin,
but it's not a violin.
You know, when you're starting this instrument, it's one of the hardest instruments out there, so you really want to make sure that you have all the tools necessary to succeed on it.
Speaking of tools to succeed, I heard you do lessons, and I would love a brief one.
Yeah, here, let's see if you can play it.
So
we're going to have it up on your shoulder
earlier
there.
I was trying to figure out how to put it on. I couldn't even figure that part out.
There you go. Yeah, that looks great.
Okay.
And then the bow there, we're just going to, there
All
you
right,
go.
and what do I do?
Now we're going to do long strokes.
So we're not
nice
worrying
and
about
smooth.
fingering?
Not that.
I'm going to move.
I think she's got it.
Yeah. Right
Where is it supposed
right
to
there,
go?
right there.
Right in between there, and then you're
Right
going to
here?
do long
Yeah,
strokes.
right there. Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think that's what my mom. I feel that's like what my mom would have said. Beautiful. You did a great job. Good effort.
Sweetheart.
Well, I know that's probably not what it's supposed to sound like. So would you play for us?
Certainly.
We'd love to hear your
Yeah.
instrument. How long have you played this exact instrument?
I've played this instrument for about 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
So.
That does sound better. Well, even though I know you've been playing for a long time, that made me feel bad.
Wow. Not at all. That's amazing.
The bow is actually special too, right? The bow, there's different
is.
bows and there's different
Yep.
kinds of bows.
Yep, and they all have real horsehair, so it's a horse's tail that we use for the hair.
Oh,
That's
wonderful.
amazing. Well, you guys can visit the Violin Shop Sarasota on 1st Street in downtown Sarasota. It's right down the street from the Shelby Library, so you can go online or visit them down there. Next, we're going to see it's Mod Weekend, and we'll get a preview. But can you play us out again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.